Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Mariner of Spirit and the Supernatural Link Network. Tonight we have a very interesting guest. He's a person that we will be talking to shortly as soon as he gets in. Before that happens, I have Carol Garcia that's going to join me, but I'll bring her in now. And then what I'll do, hey, Carol.
Hi.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mention the same things I normally do on the show. Is number one, I'll mention the people I support. And that is Tim Miley and his wife, Lauren, with Photographs. And they are a charity type organization that has a event that's called Photographs, and that started when Tim had a pup and the pup died, and he didn't know what he was going to do about it, and his whole life was in shambles when that happened, and he didn't know what direction to go. And finally, after long thought, he came up, he had a picture of himself and the pup, and he took it and went ahead and put it on the, made copies of it and took it to a Paracon and bought a table for vendors and just went ahead and started selling the pictures of him and his pooch. And it went over pretty big because most of the people knew what the situation was. And they went ahead, and that's how he started it. Now today it's an event. He has one up, I think next weekend, maybe. I don't think it's this weekend, but it's up in Houghton Lake, Michigan, and it's a photograph event. And it's another one of the of his regular, you name it, and he does it. You know, he'll have so many speakers. If he gets a hold of me, and I hope he does, and gives me the names of the speakers, and if it's next weekend, I can mention it on the shows this coming week. It's always something that I think is very interesting because of the fact that he has an event. I'll be right with you, Dan.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So, you know, the event's really, really, really good. And what he does is all that money goes to animal shelters and everything else. So the other one is PKC, Paranormal Kicks Cancer, with Chris Gaskowski and Alex Wilkinson. And they're from down in Florida. And they do events, and they do haunted houses, and they actually do sell tickets to that, and all the money that goes from that and their haunted houses and things like that all goes to cancer research. So if you get a shout out to them, that would be good too. And before we bring our guest on, he's here now, which is awesome. The only other thing that I wanted to mention was the people that the authors that have been on the show. And we start out with Bruce Holliday, Tobias Wayland, Adam Benedict, Kathy Kressel, Barnaby Jones, Sherilyn Cotter, Dr. Heatherly Langdon, Lynn Monet, Ron Iacovetti, Victoria Munday, Tony Rathman, Natalie Jones, Patty Negri, Sylvia Schultz, Amelia Cotter, Rex Nielsen, David Sloan, Christina Bloom, D.A. Wysong, We have Joseph Helland, Dr. Rebecca Foster, and that's about it. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring our guest in. And this is Dan Radomski, and he is a person that helps run the great works of Key West. And he's a gentleman that works with a gentleman that I know very well, Mr. David Sloan. Not really, really, really well, but I consider him a close friend. And so I'm going to go ahead and start out by going ahead and saying, welcome, Dan. Great.
Thank you guys very much. Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
And the lady up above, her name is Carol Garcia.
Hello,
Every
Carol.
once in a while,
Hi.
I'll go ahead and I'll have her on as my co-host, so that if she comes up with any questions, that she can jump in too.
Great.
Okay.
Awesome.
So why don't you go ahead and give everybody a little idea of who you are and how you started into the paranormal field?
Sure. So I'm the general manager of Ghost Key West. We run a couple different ghost tours down here on the island. Our big one where I am right now is inside Fort East Martello, home to Robert the doll. But I started doing this. Well, actually, the first time I came here to the museum, I came as a guest on the ghost tour about 6 years ago. I came on Halloween night, and I had quite the experience. And I walked away with some evidence on my phone. I recorded a couple of videos. You hear some voices, and I showed the videos to David Sloan. I hit it off of them, and then I started working here shortly after that. But prior to living here, I'm originally from Philadelphia. And Philly has all these old battlefields and buildings left over from the Revolution and the Civil War. And some of them offer ghost hunts, investigations. And you go to these places, and every now and then something weird happens to you. So that's really what piqued my interest in it.
Oh, that's awesome. So you have one of the golden opportunities with the building that you're sitting in right now. I've been there numerous times. The times that I've been there, I've always been by myself. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, they used to walk in, and then there would be a table, sort of where you have the gifts and everything set up now. Mm-hmm. And then you had a big curtain. And, you would pay your money, and then they would say, okay, well, we can go ahead and so can go with you. And I said, no, that's okay. I don't need anybody. Uh-huh. Because I enjoyed it that much. How is it today with that part? Has it changed at all?
Well, so during the day, it's a self-guided experience now. You walk around the museum on your own. They give you a guide, like things to look out for, and then you take a lap around the fort. You meet Robert, but there's quite the eclectic collection of different things from throughout the decades here in Key West. And then at night, so the daytime operation stops around 5 p.m. And then at night is when our company comes in, Ghost Key West, and we conduct our investigations and our tours in here.
Well, so you're really busy.
Yeah, we offer it pretty much every evening.
How's it been going? Has it been really, really hectic, or is it?
Yeah, for spring break and Easter break, we've had all those families in town, so there's been lots of people. And that's when it's more fun. The more people, the more energy people are bringing here. And the activity increases with that. They're also they're doing a construction project here at the fort. They have all these old wooden walls in the building. They're replacing them. And ever since it's been a few weeks, ever since that has started, it's definitely stirred up some activity. All that renovation, the spirits in here don't like it. They don't like the change. Different people in and out, loud machinery during the day throws them off. So they've let us know the past few evenings for sure.
What have you noticed that's different?
the responses people are getting on the spirit box, just the different equipment that we use. So we do a tour all together, and then after that, our guests conduct their own investigations here, and just what they've picked up on. The responses have turned a lot to like people hear the words "leave" and "get out," or like very unwelcoming messages since the construction has started. I feel like we've been bothering them a little bit.
No.
Normally, without the construction, what type of
Communication.
what kind of communication comes through?
Well, people feel like they have very fluent back and forth conversations. Some with recurring characters here too. We feel like there's a few spirits that hang around or are a little more prone to come out and talk to us. Some are located in, they tend to stick around in certain places in here. Like they kind of hang around like the same room. But for example, one of the names we get all the time is William. People hear William come across through the spirit box, but people will do dowsing sessions with William, and they feel like they gather a lot of information about him, and really narrow it down as to who he was.
So who did you say he was?
He was a soldier. He died here of yellow fever.
Okay.
Back in the 1860s.
There's a couple questions that are, one is from Cosmos Healing, Spiritual Alchemy, and Liminal Green Witchery. And it says, anything dangerous ever happen in these haunted areas, or is it the area just well protected? Or is it that not as much of a risk as people ask?
And in terms of like something with bad intent coming through, is that what they mean?
What do you think, Carol?
Well, let's take it as one. Break it down.
Yeah.
They asked if there's anything dangerous ever happen in the haunted areas that you've noticed. Like, does anybody ever get scratched or touched?
David has been scratched in here years ago.
In a certain area?
Yeah, it was out in. There's a central tower in the fort. It's called the Citadel, and the Citadel is one of the heavier areas here. But David tells a story. The first few months of him operating the tour, he was in there trying to set some stuff up, and like nothing was going right for him, and his equipment wasn't working, and he let out some sort of frustration. And then after he did that, he felt something on his arm. He walked out of the tower and saw that he had 3 scratch marks going down his left forearm.
Wow.
But I've never had a guest say that they've been affected like that, or I've had people say that they felt like they've been physically touched. Never anything harm. Usually it's like someone's trying to get you to see them. Like people feel like there are little pokes or taps on their backs and shoulders, or
that could have also been what happened to him, is that they were. Sometimes I think that some spirits don't know their energy or their force.
Oh, no, their own strength. Interesting.
Right. Mm-hmm. And where that could potentially happen if they're poking and you're not paying it, like, I'm poking you and you're not paying attention. Let me make more energy to build up and see. And then somebody gets scratched on accident.
Interesting. I never thought of it like that. That's cool.
As when you said that too, Dan, about the center section where he got scratched, I started to remember, isn't there a spiral staircase in there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it goes
that goes up, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's where I felt the most in the whole entire fort.
That's great. The guests that we just had here doing their investigation, they left a motion detector in that staircase, and they said it just went off nonstop, and they interpreted it as soldiers going up and down those steps.
Right.
Some residual energy of them just like doing that same routine over and over again. But I've never experienced anything in here that I would say had bad intent or
It's
had
more
some
of a
sort of
protective
malicious.
type of feeling, right?
I don't honestly. What I have picked up on in here the most, they're just energy left over from regular people that happened to die here in the
Uh-huh.
1860s. A lot of people died in this place of yellow fever. Regular townsfolk, but soldiers too, and nurses and doctors. And I feel like some of their energy is left over in the building. And it's in a way it is kind of protective. I mentioned earlier, like people here like get out, like leave. This place was used as like a hospital. So sometimes we think it's the spirits, like, oh, you just get out of here. You don't want to, you don't want to be here. We're all sick.
Right.
This isn't
Yeah.
the place for you. So in a way, they are kind of looking out for you.
I wonder if the stir-up that's happening with the construction and the noise, if it was a hospital, most hospitals are pretty quiet, you know? And if you're hearing, if somebody's making a ton of noise, that could make them wound up.
Interesting. Yeah, throwing them off. Totally out of the normal.
Yeah.
Huh.
If we can, in maybe like 10 minutes, can you move your camera or your phone and go around? And for instance, there may be people that haven't seen Robert yet.
Yeah, sure. I can do that for you guys.
And, if we have to, we'll all go ahead and say, we would like to go ahead and film you and, say hi. And I usually just think about it when I'm by him, and he seems to respond to me. It gives me answers. So, I mean, I don't know if I'm hearing things or what, but
yeah, I'll take a little lap around the fort. The further I get away from this gift shop, the worse my Wi-Fi will be, because all of the bricks in here.
Well, Robert's right down the road there, so
yeah, I'll try to go through.
You can go to Robert and then just come right back too.
Sure.
If that would be the best approach.
Yeah,
with
that
the
might
Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really interesting that I'm glad I took the time when I was there to talk to you a little bit, because you seem to be very on the ball when it comes to the paranormal, and you're very eager to learn more and more and more. Okay.
I appreciate it. I'm glad that comes across.
And
yeah,
it does.
I get a total kick out of this.
And you know what? There's a reason you're there, whether you understand it or not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in coincidence either.
Yeah. So, it's gonna come down to it one of the days. It's gonna be like a light bulb that goes off, and you're gonna go ahead and say, holy whatever. That is why I was there. And if you're still there, that's even cooler.
Mm-hmm.
And the other Fort Taylor, have you done anything over there too?
I've been there just recreationally.
Okay.
But I've never conducted any sort of
we were there, and I didn't really get any real responses like I did where you're at. I've been around there for quite some time. I'm one of the people that knew Robert when Robert was in the house.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I went in, it was an open house for some reason. They were getting ready to sell it. So that was obviously when the family was breaking up in the house. And I walked in, and I started going up the stairs because there were people on the first floor. And I figured I just got away from them. I didn't know whether they wanted money or what or anything, but I just started moving. And I got up to I want to say it was the third floor. I was at the top of the stairs. And as I got to the top of the stairs, I looked to my right, and there was a window there, and Robert was sitting on the windowsill.
Yeah.
And I just went, and I just looked at him, and it was like, hi. And it was automatic. I don't know why I said it. I still, after I got out of there and I went and met everybody for lunch where we were going, it was like, why did I say that? But I guess he liked it. So
Yeah, it's like a very natural. It's really like you're seeing somebody. That's what it
yes.
feels every time I go near him. It's like you're seeing a person.
Now, do you actually talk to him, or is it all done mentally?
Yeah, yeah. Every night I talk to him every single night. Before the tour starts, I say hello, obviously, but I tell him how many people will be here and kind of what the game plan is. I say goodbye to him every night before I leave and say thank you for your time, and I appreciate you, let us be here, sharing your story. But yeah, no, I talk to him all the time.
I'm glad you're on the same page that I am,
Hmm.
Well, for
because
some people that might be listening or watching later on, can you tell us a little bit about the story of Robert the Doll?
Yeah, sure. So I'll give you the quick sum. So Robert is now 121 years old. He's been here on the island the whole time. Well, he was given to a little boy named Robert Eugene Otto as a birthday present. The boy gets the doll, and he became obsessed with it, and he ended up dedicating his whole life to Robert. And he would treat Robert as if it were a real living person. He would take him everywhere. He would have his meals with Robert. He would leave portions of food out for him, and he would talk to him. Um, Actually, he became so obsessed that the boy gave Robert his own name. The boy's name was Robert Eugene Otto. The boy gave the boy gave the doll Robert, and the kid went by his middle name the rest of his life. He went by Gene. So early on, it's a real symbolic way of like giving something power over himself, right? Gives up his own identity to the doll. So he becomes obsessed with the doll. The family is experiencing paranormal activity in the house, and they attribute it to Robert. Like things move on their own. The doll moves on its own. They hear the doll making noise, and this goes on until Gene grows up. He turns 18. He moves to Europe. He was a artist. He was a painter. And he went to study art in France. Lives in France for a few years for school. Meets his wife there. This lady named Anne Parker. They get married. They come back to the United States. They live in New York for a while. Eventually, Gene's parents, they fall ill, so they leave him his childhood home down here in Key West. That's where he left Robert. So the parents leave. Gene Otto and his wife come down to Key West. They show up at the house. Gene says to his wife, Anne, Anne, I want to introduce you to my best friend in Key West. Goes up to the attic, takes Robert out of this old wooden chest, shows him to Anne, this is Robert, this is my best friend. And then it continues on from there. Just like as a kid, he dedicated his whole life to the doll. All of his time was spent with them. And that went on until he died in the 1970s. So Gene died. He had a rough relationship with Anne Parker. Robert was a big reason of it. He didn't really spend much time with her. He'd rather hang out with the doll. So Gene didn't leave Anne the house or any of the belongings in there. So Anne moves away. The house is empty for a few years. Eventually, this other woman buys it, this woman named Myrtle Reuter. Myrtle lives in the house for a while. Eventually, she finds Robert up in the attic in that chest, pulls him out, and then she became attached to the doll, developed an obsession with it. She had Robert for years until one night she had enough. Something happened with Robert. She wanted to get rid of him, and she left him here at the museum the next morning. That was in 1994. And since then, Robert's been here on display pretty much the whole time.
That's a very accurate time for him. Very,
Wow.
very. That's how long I've been down there.
Interesting. Yeah, it lines up.
So the events that happen with people that come in that are not respectful of Robert, can you tell us a little bit about the letters that come?
Yeah. People write to him all the time. Honestly, a lot of the letters now, people are just very afraid of him. And even if they see him on a TV show, or if they see him on or like something like this or a YouTube video, a lot of people feel the need to say like, "Dear Robert, I'm sorry for looking at you. Please forgive me for seeing you." But every now and then we get a good one where somebody came here, intentionally antagonized them, and they leave, and they start to experience strings of bad luck, and sometimes it gets to be intense. He received a letter today, and the letter pretty much said, like, "Dear Robert, a few months ago I was there and I was trying to impress a girl that I was with on the tour, and I made fun of you to try to show off. And ever since then, my life has been horrible. Please forgive me. Here's, I'm sorry."
Wow. So they're
There's
still
no,
coming to this day.
Yeah. He gets letters all the time.
Wow.
Actually, I have a bunch of them right here. I can't show you on camera, because like the people's names and stuff are on
no,
them.
Right.
that's okay.
But yeah, he gets a couple every week.
That's
That's
amazing.
That's really, really interesting. I
Yeah.
know there's a lot of people that don't understand that part, but you know what?
Yeah, there's different hypotheses as to what haunts this doll. The big story, a lot of people have heard that he was made in some kind of ritual where maybe an angry ex-servant of the Ottos, they were disgruntled enough, and in some sort of voodoo or black magic ritualistic practice, they made the doll and then gave it to the little kid as a curse. We know that's not true. Robert was given to the boy as a gift from his parents, and they bought him in Germany from the Steiff factory. But there is a story about an angry ex-servant and the little boy, Gene, that kind of has some weight in this. There's a story of a woman named Emmeline Abbott. She was a servant for the Ottos. While she was a servant, based on her census records, we can tell that she had a daughter that died of an illness here on the island between the years of 1900 and 1910, which is when the boy received the doll.
Okay.
So some people think that her daughter died of an illness. The Otto family were doctors. They saw their patients in their own home. So maybe Emily took her daughter to them for treatment, and she died there under the care. And she died in the house under their care. So maybe her spirit lingered around the doll. And maybe it attached itself to Robert. And then maybe that's why the kid liked him so much. He had like a buddy, like a companion. Other people think, people come here and investigate all the time. And a lot of investigators, like psychics and mediums that meet Robert, they feel like it's something more malicious, something darker, something that could have bad intent. And it tries to trick people, and it tries to make people think it's a kid. It tries to appear to be the spirit of like a child, try to get your guard down around it.
Uh-huh.
Maybe that's why Gene liked it so much. Maybe that's why that woman, Myrtle Reuter, that bought the house, maybe that's why she became attached to Robert. So there's different ideas. Nobody's quite sure as to what it is. So that's why when people come here to investigate and see Robert, I tell them to be very respectful of him. And I always tell them to say goodbye when they are done talking to him. And be very firm with ending your session with Robert. You don't really know what you're tapping into. It's good to set your intention with it.
That's really something.
Well, and also the whole idea of respect, whether it's an inanimate object with an attachment or what it could possibly be that's there. I mean, anybody would want respect, right?
Right.
So, people should be doing that with whomever they come into contact
Yeah,
with.
regardless, exactly. Yeah,
Right?
and that sometimes I feel like it's people. It's like karma. Like you're putting out this negative energy. You're looking for negative energy, and something is there that would fill that space and provide it to you.
Right.
That was something that I was wondering right off the bat the first time I went to the museum, because there were people in there at that time that were around that it was like a table and they were like workers or whatever they were. But, this is pre David, I believe, Sloan. And, just some of the comments that were being made as I was paying my money, it was like, it didn't come off right, and at that point I had already seen him twice. So I've actually seen him 4 times now. And, every time it's like, to me, he's almost like family. And I'm saying that in the respect that you have to treat him like that.
Interesting. Yeah.
To go ahead and make sure that, there's no paths there for anything else to come through. And,
on the flip side, is as afraid as people are of him, there's a lot of people that feel they have a positive relationship with Robert. And yeah, they feel it's a very familiar entity. We have this one couple, they travel all over the country and they send him postcards from wherever they go.
Oh, wow.
And he got one from Las Vegas recently, greetings from Las Vegas. There's one guy that comes here every single year and he brings his Robert replica with him and he travels all around the world with this little Robert doll. And yeah, people come here to talk to him. People send him Christmas cards and holiday greetings and things like that.
That's an awesome thing
That's
to
really
do.
nice.
I think it really is. So do you want to go over and see if the reception stays good?
Yeah, I'll give it a try. Let me flip my camera around.
Okay. Here. I want to say thanks, Dan. This is really something. I really like.
Absolutely. Let me just mess around with my camera here for a second. I don't know if I can flip it.
Ooh. We lost him, huh?
He's back.
Okay.
There he is. You can't flip it. Let me. Sorry.
That was the wrong button that I pressed.
As long as it's not the eject button.
No, it's okay. I'll just hold my phone this way.
This is actually changed quite a bit compared to the times before. There was never any of these all this variety of things you could buy, and he's going through the curtains now.
Let me know if you guys can see everything okay.
Yeah.
So I'm walking through this side of the fort. This looks out over the ocean. This is where they would have had those gigantic Rodman cannons to protect from any Confederate ships that would have came around this way. Robert's down here in the middle of the hallway.
That's Robert.
Hello, Robert.
I have some friends here.
Hi. How you doing, Robert?
Nice to meet you.
It's Carol, Greg.
Great to be back to see you.
So
Looking
he's
good.
He's now 121 years old.
That's amazing.
His birthday is October 25th.
Oh, I have a family member that the birthday is the same date.
No kidding. That's funny. Yeah, people come from all over the place to see him here. Actually, I had a couple people from the UK a couple nights ago, and they came to America was to come down here to the Keys and come visit him.
What was the pup's name again?
That's Leo the Lion.
Leo the Lion?
That's his buddy. Yes.
Okay. That's awesome. I spent quite a bit of time with him when I was there and you were there. I enjoyed it immensely.
That's
Thank
good.
you,
Yeah, it's a good opportunity here. You can really come and really learn about the story, and you also get to explore the rest of the fortress too. It's a fascinating piece of history here. There's
a lot of great things, but we can't be having Dan run around because the reception's going to really stink. So it's great this to me is like the top of the mountain right here.
I
And
actually feel like he's very kind.
he is.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yes.
I
I have
know.
a kind, gentle feeling towards him.
I'm
From
curious how Dan Botts feels about him. He's up there in the comments, and Linda Kruger, his
Mhm.
his lady, and Barbara Spears here. And Barbara says, "Hello, Robert. It's an honor to meet you." Starseed Paranormal says, "Happy birthday, Robert. Nice to see you."
Mhm.
And Cosmos Healing Spiritual Alchemy and Liminal Green Witchery says, "Mine's October too." So that's pretty cool. She also says that she was born in 94.
Wow.
Boy, to be young again, huh?
Right?
And then Starseed in the top says the doll it's not the doll, it's Robert the doll. Wasn't mad to be in the attic. What do you think about that, Dan?
Oh, well, Gene would leave him up there all the time while he was alive. Gene would paint up in that attic,
Okay.
so he gave Robert like a view of the street. I think he see over Key West, see people look at see people on the street looking up. Kind of, I
You are
don't know
starting
how
to
he would have
break up.
felt. I think he likes company.
Maybe we ought to go back to the front. Robert,
Sure.
thank you very much. It's
Okay.
been an honor.
Thank you, Robert. Nice to meet you. Hope to meet you in person someday.
Thank you,
Take
Robert. I'll
care.
see you shortly.
Love and
Thank
hugs, Robert.
I'll see you in a bit, Robert. Thank you.
So the attic
Okay, I'm making my way
wasn't
back.
like an actual like an attic that would be, where you just stored belongings. It was an area that he used quite often.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, Gene built him his own room up there, furnished him a room
Okay.
in the attic. Actually, I have a picture of the house right here.
Yes, that's the
This is
house.
the artist's house. I don't know if you guys can see that
Yes,
on the
it's
camera, but
beautiful.
up there, the top of the turret is where he was left.
Oh, so he got to see a very large area down on the street and out further.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It has a staircase there, right?
Funny enough, I've never been in there. But yeah, there's a staircase. I've seen photos of it. There's a staircase that leads up to the top.
Now
I've
remember
personally never gone in the house.
I remember it as being a thin house and a deep house. I don't know why.
I don't know like the square footage of it, but it's pretty big in the front. It stands out on the street. There's not a lot of homes that look like it down here, especially with that turret. That's like a very distinct
Right.
feature.
That's pretty close to the Pan Am building, right?
Not too far away. Yeah,
I think my
it's a few blocks
distances
over.
are all screwed up, after so many years.
So Dan,
It's
did
just-
you investigate other locations before you've started here at the fort?
Yeah, tons in Philadelphia. Eastern State Penitentiary, Fort Mifflin.
Wow.
The best where I've had the most activity in the course of just a few hours, Gettysburg.
Oh
Gettysburg
yes.
up in Pennsylvania. Oh my God. Oh, no, that place is so heavy.
Yes. A lot of activity there.
Just things happen the entire time. And not even through our equipment. Like we're hearing footsteps around us, and this one building that we went into. They told us it was used as a makeshift field hospital during the battle.
It's one of the homes there.
Just brutal. And we were all sitting in this room upstairs. Everybody was up there, and all of a sudden the room started to smell so foul. It smelled like decay and like rot and death, and all of a sudden it stopped. And that was a weird moment for me. That was one of the more peculiar things I've experienced. Like the smell of death in the room, and then it dissipated after a while. But that one freaked me out. That one was like a moment in time, like happening again. The place is so bizarre.
So how many days were you at Gettysburg?
Oh, I've been there. I would go all the time, like for day trips.
What are your favorite 3 locations there?
What they don't really offer. You can't really do like an investigation on the battlefield, right? Because it's the national park. But the place you can go to Sachs Bridge, and nobody will bother you there, and you'll probably run into other people that are, using some equipment. Even if it's just like an app
have
on
you
their
ever
phone.
had any interactions with? I think there's a military man at Sachs Bridge that likes to smoke cigarettes.
Here, listen to this story.
Interesting.
Carol's got a story.
So the group that we were with, the guy had said to us he wouldn't smoke any cigarettes before you guys came. And so he thought that he wasn't going to smoke any. So I put a cigarette on the railing, and he started answering questions, up and down for yes, left and right for no. And he smoked my whole cigarette that I gave him.
Uh-huh.
And then I lit another one, and he smoked that one also. And we just continued to stand there and ask questions while he spoke to us. It was really amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, that was fun that night.
And the story there, they think it's a Confederate deserter that was killed around the bridge, or at least and like
I can't remember who it was.
Over.
It was somebody within the military, and I don't remember what his rank was or anything, but that was quite amazing. I've never seen a spirit smoke a cigarette before.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. That's so cool. That whole town has a funk about it. If you ever hear, hundreds of years before, there was this massive Native war that took place there, and it was home to like all these Native American battles. Just like that land is just, it draws that kind of action there, and it all sits over limestone.
Right. So that makes it supposedly even stronger, right? More activity.
Holding on to that energy. Yeah.
I started there when I was 10, and we pulled up on the first site. My father, my grandmother, my sister, and my uncle. And we pulled up on the first spot when you come in the park, and pulled around, and we pulled into the first spot. At that particular time, I had no idea what the spot was. Okay. And we went ahead, and in a period of maybe 15 or 20 minutes, we started hearing noises. And the wind would pick up or go out, one of the two. But every time the wind would change, the noises would start. And there wasn't a noise. And I was familiar with a lot of the noises because I was like a military kid.
Mm-hmm.
And not that my dad was in the Navy, but noises, explosions, different sounds of calibers of guns, screaming, horses screaming, the bursts that would be overhead actually were like they were going off above us. And all this battle would go, and then as soon as the wind would die, or it would start up, whatever it was, the noises would stop. And then the wind would pick up again, and it would come right in with them. And we were there for probably maybe maybe 3 hours. It was lunchtime. We were getting ready to go. And at the time, they didn't even have any tours or anything. They had like a park ranger is all they had. And he was coming through, and where we were at, as it turned out, I found out after being there so many times that I finally put 2 and 2 together, and I was at Reynolds Woods. if you know where Reynolds Woods is. That's like one of the first spots that you go to, and that's where Major General Reynolds was killed there on day one. He got shot in the neck, through the neck. And I can remember all that happening, and it was something that was drawing me, because at that particular time, I was already a veteran myself. Not when I was a kid, but when I went back to try to figure out where I was at when I was a kid, and it was like, holy crap,
That's incredible.
And then when I finally came to fruition, it was like, man alive, I couldn't believe it.
Well, we also know of a person by the name of Russell Reynolds who was related to
General Reynolds.
And while he was there investigating, I think it was the same area, he had panned his camcorder around, and I never knew that there were any type of Asians that fought in Gettysburg. But I saw a figure pop up out of the ground, and then it noticed it was being recorded, and it literally dropped right back down again. And it happened so quick, but I saw it. It was an Asian man in full uniform. Of it looked like a metal armor that he was wearing.
Wow, like a what are they, samurai?
Yes, like a samurai. That's what I saw in that video clip.
I know.
And when I pointed it out to him, he slowed it down. He was like, he didn't even notice it was there until I saw it there. I was pretty shocked that I saw it, because I didn't know that there were any Asians there on the battlefield.
I do want to mention another part, because it's an important part because we'll be on for another maybe 20, 30 minutes, but it's important. Is that okay with you if we stay a little over an hour or not?
Sure. No problem.
Okay. And I was going to bring up the firehouse.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I was there this last time, when I met you, we were at a B&B, or no, it was just a rental house, but it was 2 blocks away from the firehouse. So I got David, I told David told me to call him when I got down there. And I did. And then I went ahead and I went over to his place. He said, come on over to the firehouse. And that was the day after I had seen you. And that's when he was getting ready to start the investigations at the firehouse. And I thought it was really, really cool how he had it all set up. And did you have anything to do with that?
No, I fill in there some nights, and the tour that we do there it's an audio tour.
Yes.
So we give people headphones, and then they walk around, and then they conduct their investigation after. That's more where I play a role. I show them how to use the equipment and give them some tips and tricks of how to communicate, see what they could pick up on. I've only been there a handful of times. I have had a couple of experiences that did freak me out. A couple of things that got my attention. Most of them have been up in Bumfardo's office.
Quite an active area.
Yeah.
That's a lot of my EVPs that I came back on day 3, I think it was. And I just came back and I talked to one of the retired firemen from New York. And David had told him about me, and I just went upstairs by myself and went ahead and conducted a bunch of EVP sessions sitting at Bumfardo's desk. Why don't you tell everybody who Bumfardo was?
Yeah, sure. This is quite the Key Westy story. He was the old fire chief. His name was Joseph Fardo. His nickname was Bum. In the 1970s, he was caught in a drug bust by the CIA, and they caught him in a cocaine deal. And then before it was this big problem. Before he went on trial, he went missing. Somewhere in between Key West and Miami, he vanished. Nobody knows what happened to him to this day. It's a mystery. There's different ideas. Some people think that maybe he was affiliated with the mob up in Tampa or Miami, and then they sent somebody down here to kill him before he could go on trial and give up information. Some people think he hopped on a boat somewhere in the Keys and he fled and made it to a different country. Some people think he went to Cuba. Some people are convinced he went to Costa Rica and lived out the rest of his life in Costa Rica. But nobody knows. Either way, though, today he would most likely be dead. He would be over 110 years old. But up in the Firehouse Museum, they have a lot of his personal belongings, and they think he's attached to them. And he enjoyed his time as a firefighter, so that was a place where a lot of his positive energy would still kind of linger. But they have his old jacket, and they have his old glasses and his old cigars up there. But yeah, it's a wild story. It's still a mystery. Nobody knows what happened to this guy.
It was a fantastic time. I enjoyed it tremendously, almost as much as I enjoyed Robert. But
yeah, it's a little hidden gem, that museum. It's in the middle of Key West. Not many people would know about it otherwise. Kind of if you don't walk by it, it's kind of tucked away. But it's cool. It's David and the people that operate it, they do a great job displaying the history. There's a ton of stuff in that museum in such a small space. There's a lot to take in. And there's several ghost stories associated with it, so it's a good place for what we do.
Did you pick anything up on one of the fire trucks that was out in the back?
There's a story. They got this old fire engine from somewhere up in mainland Florida, and now they just use it for ceremony. They use it in parades and stuff. But when they got this fire engine, all this weird activity started to happen in the firehouse. They don't know who or what is attached to the fire engine, but it was just a weird coincidence. They got it there, and then all of a sudden this weird stuff started to happen in the station.
It's a fantastic location.
David has a video. I just heard something from further away in the gift shop. Something made some noise. I'm gonna ignore it. I'll spiral out of control if I give it any attention. David caught on camera what looks like the silhouette of a little girl by that fire truck. This was a couple years ago. It's at night. There's nobody there, and he's just he's filming. And then standing next to it is the silhouette of what looks like a kid, what looks like a little girl, long hair.
So that's good that you get to go over there.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to switch it up. I've had anything too weird happen to me there lately. One of my favorite ghost stories I have accrued from my time doing this sort of thing. This is a couple years ago. There's a grade school not far away from the firehouse, and on Halloween day they asked us if we could take some of their kids in there and give them do a ghost hunt with them, a real full-on investigation. And the stories there are a little more mature in nature, the cocaine slinging fire chief, right? We're should we tone this down for the kids? And they were like no, freak them out. So we split them up into two groups. I'm upstairs in the office with Bomfardo, and we're doing a spirit box session. David has the other kids downstairs telling them about, there's a story of a little boy that died in the fire, and they think that his spirit followed the firefighters, followed the fire engine, and it resides in the station. So the kids, the first group, nothing happens up in the office. We don't hear anything from the spirit box. The kids kind of think it's dumb. So we rotate. So those kids go downstairs. David sends the other kids up. These kids are terrified. They are David scared them to death. They were shaking with fear. And I take them up in the office. It's nice and dark up there. And there's a poker table up there. They were sitting around the poker table, and I have the spirit box in front of us. And I say out loud, is there anybody up in the office with us? Through the spirit box, we hear a raspy yes come across. It's like, yeah, comes through.
Mm-hmm.
So we hear that, and they go, whoever said that, can you tell us what happened to the fire chief? Do you know what happened to Bum Fardo? And the clearest thing I've ever heard come from a spirit box. What sounded like the same raspy, like gravelly kind of voice came through and said, we iced him. Just like that. We iced him. And I was floored.
That's actually what I picked up on.
We iced him. Ugh. And the kids didn't really understand what that meant, but they had some teachers up there with them, and the teachers and the chaperones were like, "Oh my God!" Like it's such a fitting response. Like we iced him, yeah, like we killed him.
When Greg was there doing the investigation live that night, I actually picked up on him being unalived.
Mm.
What it was is
Yeah.
he called me and had me come over there an hour and a half early before the people came for the first investigation. And what he wanted me to do was put on the headphones and follow it around and do my own investigation.
Mm-hmm.
And I went ahead and I did that and went around and did the whole thing. And one of the very interesting parts was, number one, was down at one of the fire truck that was outside. And it was, no, it was the one on the inside, because it was, if you sat on the seat, like the driver, that I started getting tingling going on and stuff. Like I had somebody there with me. And then, you know, it was like, wow, this was really weird. So I didn't really say anything on my recording pertaining to that. And I went ahead and left and had to continue because I had to have it all done before the people got there. So I went ahead and went from there, and I went upstairs. And I can remember going ahead and coming back down when I was all done, and they started up the investigation, and there probably was maybe 6 people there, maybe. 3 of them were on that fire truck, sitting up on that seat going, wow, I can't believe this. And they were doing recordings and everything else. And it was like, holy crap.
Has there been a story about that fire chief shooting a female?
No, but there's a former fire chief before Bum Fardo's time.
I know which one you're talking about. I can't think of his name either.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
It was he was from
Chief Buford.
Yes.
I saw him. I saw the person had a mustache, dark colored hair, and I saw in my mind's eye him shoot a female woman of the night.
That's the story. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I saw when Greg was up in the office.
Wow.
I felt it. I felt it here hit my head.
We had issues with filming that night outside, and I was doing it for the people, for my group, the people that I work with, you know, Supernatural Inc. And they're out of Missouri, and we started out, and it was like, let's try to do it live. And you know, so I have my camera, and I can't remember, my voice recorder with me and a light. And then I had David was with me for the whole entire time. And we were trying to do this court, you know, and then every once in a while, the light, what he would be saying compared to what I would be saying, I'd have the light pointed over here and it was supposed to be over here and stuff like that, because we just weren't coordinated in the dark. And it was a lot of fun. I thanked him for giving me the opportunity. I hope I didn't blow it out of the water.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I'm not familiar with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the one part that really got me is that one building in the back of the yard there, where the one chief, or was it the lieutenant, that got kicked in the face by that horse and died?
Yeah, that was Fire Chief Fulford.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's buried out there too, isn't he?
I don't know if his remains are there on the property.
You know that tree?
Yeah, and they have him at the base of the tree.
Yes.
I don't know if he is one of them. I'm not sure. I'd have to get back to you on that. I don't know if he's among them.
Well, there was isn't there like 4 or 5 fire chiefs that were buried there?
Yeah.
Or their remains are in there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm not
they
sure
look like 5-inch
was one of
5-inch shells.
Yeah, they're like canisters,
Yes.
like into the ground. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Pretty cool. But that's amazing.
That's around that tree in the front?
Yeah. And the tree is some weird tree that...
Oh, it's a mamey tree. Yeah. They figure it's the first mamey tree in Florida. And all the other mamey trees are from that, like from the seeds of it.
Wow.
It's beautiful. Massive. It's very distinct looking. And yeah, at the base of it, they have...
Don't those seeds have arsenic in them or something?
Yeah, they'll kill you if you eat them. If you eat enough of them, they'll kill you. But some cultures prepare certain dishes with them. I think it's some kind of Mexican cuisine. They learned how to cook out the arsenic or whatever. They use it like for special occasions.
That's pretty mind-boggling.
Yeah.
So how is it for you to be married?
Oh, it's been wonderful. It's been a crazy. Okay, it's coming up on a month now. March 14th.
A month?
Oh man, it was a whirlwind.
You said a month?
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was quite the Key West party. So me and my wife, we met in college in Temple University. We're both from Philly. We moved here as soon as we graduated college, like 2 weeks after. Like, bye, everybody. We're out of here. We moved here. We've been here ever since. We had quite the crowd come. There was about 100 people from Philadelphia, from my families that came down and hung out for like a week.
That's really nice.
We went out on a catamaran for the ceremony. Did like a sunset cruise. Ooh. The boat came back, and then the conch train picked everybody up. The conch train took us down to Vol Street, and then we had our reception at the southernmost resort.
Holy cow.
So it was a lot of fun. My favorite part was the train ride. It was like our own parade going down to Vol Street. Everybody's cheering for us. It was quite the scene.
That was one of the last places we ate at, right by the buoy there.
Yeah. The beach cafe, the southernmost beach cafe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's some fantastic territory there.
Yeah, I call that the classy side of the island. That's everything's like a little prettier down there.
What have you done any looking around at Hemingway's?
Man, you know what? I've been there several times. That place gives me the creeps. The Hemingway house. Yeah, it's an old building. Before Hemingway lived there, the guy that built that property, his name was Asa Tift. Asa Tift was a famous wrecker. Are you guys familiar with the wreckers? This is in the 1840s and 50s and 60s. The wrecking industry was really big. Key West became this big import-export place. But the reef is so treacherous around the island, ships would often wreck themselves. And then this big call would go out over town, wreck ashore. Everybody would hop in their dinghy, go out to the wreck, and then salvage whatever they could. And they made a ton of money doing so. It got to the point where Key West was the richest city per person in the country. Everybody's making money off these shipwrecks. Asa Tift was one of the most successful wreckers. He had like a whole company involved with it. Asa Tift built that house. he was an interesting guy. He had a lot of strong ties to the Confederates when the Civil War broke out, and he was a big part of. He tried to help them bolster up their navy, and he would design warships for the Confederate Navy.
Okay.
Anyway, when he owned the house, a lot of his family members died in there of yellow fever.
Oh.
And I don't know. There's a weird feeling when I'm in there. You feel the presence of somebody else with you. I've never been there alone. I've never been in there at night, never to do an investigation, but just anecdotally, just the regular business hours, that place has a weird vibe about it. I don't know if anybody's ever really done like a good investigation in there. They rent it out for private events, but it's always like weddings and stuff. I don't know if anybody's gone in there with equipment and tried to,
That would
maybe
be
talk to them.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you get in there and you do that, you got to get a hold of me and let me know how it went.
Yeah, I absolutely will. People say that Hemingway haunts the house, which I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. This Key West is where he had the best years of his life. He loved it. He loved Key West, and this is where he wrote some of his better material. So yeah, maybe his spirit does like to visit.
Did a lot of fishing there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, head out to the Gulf Stream from here.
I can't believe the size of the marlins that he caught.
Oh yeah, some of the photos that they have on display in that museum are crazy. Like 600 7-pound fish, crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Huge.
That's big.
Huge. Absolutely huge. Well, it's great. It's great to have had you on tonight.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much.
I would love to have you come back. I know I'm going to try to get David to come on. And when you talk to him, mention it that, if he shoots me a date. And then, I would like to also do after I have him on, so many months after that, I'd like to have both you guys on together. I think that would be really neat.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love to talk to you again.
Are
you coming to Key West anytime soon? You have any trips planned?
Probably next year.
Awesome.
We'll probably do the same thing we did, except the couple weeks that we were there got a little cold. Is that back again?
I'm hearing something over there. It's freaking me out. I don't know what it is.
It
is windy. It's windy tonight. So
okay.
Like we could chalk it up to nature, but it didn't sound like nature. It sounded like something being moved over there.
I'm going to check real fast to see if there's any other questions, and then we'll take it from there.
Sure.
So, everybody's saying hi to Robert. Happy birthday, Robert. Okay, here's one. How much Robert the Doll saw all the changes he must. I don't know what that means. How much Robert the Doll saw all the changes he must have seen. I don't know if that makes any sense or not.
Maybe like over the island.
Yeah,
maybe
probably.
Up in that attic, like the progress of
the
island changing.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, not much happens down here, so I mean,
it's pretty much the same.
Not a lot of work. Yeah.
That's what makes it. And then the other one was Gettysburg came up just yesterday in an event. No one has mentioned it to me in years.
Funky.
I went there decades ago. It's always a place to go back to.
Yeah, I always, if people are really looking for something to happen, if you really want to experience something paranormal, that's where I would, at least in America.
Yeah.
St. Augustine is also very active too.
I've never hung out there.
You're not that far away.
Yeah.
You go take a weekend there for sure.
I haven't been down to Key West, but I've been to St. Augustine, and it was very active there.
Oh, I got drawn. The first time we were in Key West, I was just drawn to it. Like I could have very easily have stayed there. Very easily. And I still feel that way today. And, you know, my better half, but, you know, you can't win them all. Let's see. Barbara says, I heard that sounded like a thud that you heard.
Yeah, I'll go take a look. I'll bring you guys with me.
Well, don't bring him back with you. This is just fantastic.
It's a beautiful
Yeah, it's
museum.
It is. It's this part. If you could see the other part where everything's on display, this is like the gift section and everything there. And then it goes through the curtains, and then you're in the meat and potatoes of it. And it's so dark in there, and then the reception's so bad because it's all brick.
Right.
Yeah, nothing comes.
It's a
nothing
true
comes
fort.
Yeah.
That,
It's 164 years old now, this place.
Look at the ceilings.
Yeah. It's all brick.
Yeah, if anybody wants to come along and visit us, our company is called Ghost Key West, and we offer tours and investigations here pretty much every night. Here and at the firehouse, we do that a few times a week.
That's awesome.
Sounds like fun.
You go
Yeah,
ahead.
if you like to freak yourself out. Yeah.
If anybody goes ahead and sends you an email, then you go ahead and give them the prices and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything's on ghostkeywest.com is our website.
Okay. That's awesome. Thank you very much for everything you've done tonight, Dan.
Absolutely,
It's been
Thank
amazing. And I couldn't have asked for a better show.
Awesome. Oh, good. No, this was fun. No, thank you guys for having.
And
having
tell
me on.
David it's been a pleasure having you on.
I absolutely will. I think I will see him soon in the next few
Okay.
days. Yeah.
Is he back already, or is he still on the?
He's en route, I believe,
Okay.
traveling somewhere. Yeah.
Yes. I saw that. So, and Heather's been okay. Everything's been going great with her. She's happy on the trip.
Yeah. Well, they were here for my wedding a month ago, and then they went back up north, and now they're heading back down south. So I'll catch up with them.
Yeah. Be sure to say hi to her too.
Yeah, I absolutely will.
Please.
Mhm.
And thank you very much for everything tonight. It's been amazing.
Awesome, guys. No, thank you. Very nice to talk to the both of you.
Okay. And I will let you go. And
yeah, I'm going to turn all the lights on in here and put some happy music on and just try to ignore if anything happens.
How long are you going to stay?
Not much longer. Just 10, 15 minutes just to kind of straighten some things up and I'll get out of here.
Okay. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you very much, Dan.
And thank you guys. Have a good night, everybody.
Okay.
you.
Good night.
Good
Thanks for
night.
the questions, everybody participating. Appreciate
Thank you. Bye-bye.
it. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Well, that's it. Boy, it's sort of like how to go ahead and put lightning in a bottle.
That was wonderful.
It was a good show. And I appreciate you coming on and helping out with all the questions.
Anytime.
I know.
You got me to wake up for a bit today.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'm sure that, well, we can leave. And thank you very much, everybody, for being here. It's been a pleasure. And you know what? This is what it's really all about. If you go ahead and look at exactly what Dan was saying, and if you go ahead, and you mentioned Carol and myself, we're people that really enjoy and love what we do. And for once in my life, it's really here. And it sort of brought me to the point tonight that I do understand completely now. And it's a good thing for myself.
Yeah.
And this is something that can be attained by a lot of different people. And some of the things that have helped us recently is something that we're going to share in a show down the road. And that'll keep you teased for a while. So thank you for being here. It's been
Remember
awesome.
to smile.
Thank you, Carol. And we'll see you guys all later. And have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ha 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 ha.